Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be making these absolutely too cute little gnomes. I love these little things. My girls love them. They're going to give all these to their friends after I make this tutorial. So basically the whole story with these gnomes is I wanted to do a gnome. Well, everybody has a gnome tutorial, right? But they're all relatively similar looking, so I want mine to be different. So how I came up with this was this little green one right here. I got him, if you guys remember, when Crystal from Bag O' Day had her crochet retreats, the very first one, or maybe it was the second, I don't remember. We had a ton of giveaways, right? Well, after I don't remember. After one of the retreats, I went home and it was over, and I everything that I had won I put up, and a couple of weeks later I was cleaning the back seat of my truck and I found that Santa gnome. I'm not 100% sure what he is, but I found that shoved into the back seat of my truck, and I thought, where in the world did this thing come from? So what I did was I had put him on that little turn thing on your lamps, to turn your lamp on and off. I hung him on there, and he's been there for a couple years. And then I had thought about I wanted to do a gnome tutorial when I look over and I see him, and I was like, oh, ooh, I got an idea. And these are what I come up with. So there's actually, believe it or not, there's zero crocheting at all. None crocheting with this. So I can understand if some of you aren't interested because there's no crocheting in it, but they're still cute and it's still yarn. So I'm just going to go through these one by one, showing you guys. There's this one. I'm going to have to say this one is probably my favorite. He's little, and the variegated yarn, it was really balled up inside the skein. So when I pulled it out, the strands were all wavy, and he kind of looks thick. I think it's adorable. And then I have this one, and then I have this one. Then we have this, and all of these I made with scrap yarn. Besides the beard, actually, the beard I used a skein of Hirschner's worsted 8 in the color medium gray. I have a couple of those, so that's the only reason why all of them have the same color, because I didn't want to use a little bit out of a brand new skein, since I don't have scrap white or gray, and so that's why I went with the color I did. But here's this one, and then the red one. If you guys can hear that, that's my wind chime outside. And I have this purple. I kind of messed him up a little bit, but he's still adorable. And then I have this maroon one. Or actually, that's Red Heart Super Saver Claret. C-L-A-R-E-T. And then dark brown. And then finally, this gold one. And I didn't put anything on him. I didn't have a fake flower or a little bow or a little, I totally just lost track of what I was saying. I didn't have anything that would look good on him, so I didn't put anything on him. So I thought maybe one of the girls would like just a plain one. So, those are the ones that I've made. I'm going to give these away to the girls. The girls can give them to their friends. And then also on the back, I put this little tag that says, hanging with my Gnomies. I didn't do it on all of them because I thought, I'll ask the girls first if they would like it or not, or if they want it just to be normal, or not normal, but without it. Okay, let's go ahead and go through what you're going to need. Okay, so the first thing you're going to need is this plastic mesh canvas. Now, I do want to say Walmart has a good, what's the word I want to use? A sturdy one. Like, it's not too flimsy. It's got some stiffness to it. I would recommend that one over, so I think Hobby Lobby has some, but they're a little more flimsy. I wouldn't get that. I would go try to find you a good stiff one. I mean, you can still bend it, but it's not soft plastic like the one at Hobby Lobby is. And then you're going to need some scissors. Now you're going to need scissors to cut your plastic canvas and then scissors for your yarn. So like these are for paper or plastic canvas. I never use those. Those are for my yarn. All right, then you're going to need, ooh, about dropped it. You're going to need a tape measure. And then you're going to need the color yarn you want to use for the hat of your gnome. You're going to need some yarn for the color of beard. And then, where are they at? Oh no, where did I set the... Dang it. Hold on just a second. Okay. You're going to need 3/8 inch little wooden balls. So I got these off of Amazon. I'll put a link in the description box for you guys. But they're basically, that's what we use for, well, that's what we use for the nose, okay? So check out the link for that. And then anything that you want to embellish with, like these little sunflowers, I'll put a link in the description box for that too. I bought these, for those of you that seen, and if you didn't, check out my Chatting with Alana's, I don't remember which one it was. I showed a sunflower guardian angel that I made for my mother-in-law for her birthday. So I needed fake sunflowers. So I bought these off of Amazon, and then when they came in, they were way too little, so they didn't work. So that's why so many of the gnomes that I showed in the beginning have these sunflowers on them, because I needed to find a project to use all these up. So I'll put a link in the description box if you guys are interested in these little sunflowers. But if you're not, Walmart has a big selection of little trinket things that you can glue to your gnome. Also, you're gonna need glue. So my go-to is fabric tag or Fabri tag, however you want to say it. You can hot glue these, although I kind of, okay, so I hot glued some of mine, right? Because I was trying to get them done quick for the tutorial. But I almost don't recommend it, only because if you hang these in your car and let's say it's 100 degrees outside and inside your car is going to be 200 degrees. I can't guarantee that the the hot glue isn't going to melt and drip down your gnome and all over your car, and I wouldn't do it, but if you want to, that's up to you. I just said I wouldn't do it, but I did on some of those. But anyway, I would use fabric tack. It dries fast, it dries clear, it just takes a few minutes, and it doesn't melt. So I would definitely recommend this. But if you want to hot glue, you hot glue. All right, so the last thing I want to talk about that you're going to need is a needle. So you're going to need a needle that can go through your, ooh, just about lost that. Go through your plastic mesh with the yarn on the needle. So a good way to know, I have a knot in my yarn, really? A good way, what is happening? Okay, so to test that out, just thread your yarn on your needle, just like this, and then run it through the holes of that plastic mesh. If it goes right through, then perfect. That's the perfect needle. Okay? Just like that. Oops, about my camera. All right, so that is all of the supplies that you're going to need. So not too many. All right, get your supplies together, and I am going to organize everything and get ready to go. So I will be right back. All right, let's get started. So with our plastic canvas, turn that around, we are going to need a strip that is 35 by 4. So I will get my scissors, and I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35. So I want 35 whole squares. So I'm going to cut the 36th square. And that is coming out, well, I'll measure it after I get done. So I've got my 35 wide. Now I need to go 4 up. 4 whole squares. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right there is my 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to go up 1, 2, 3, 4. And the 5th I'm going to cut. There. So I have 4 whole squares this way and 35 whole squares this way. So now I'm just going to trim off all of these nubs from cutting it. And these things fly whenever you trim them. So definitely be ready with your broom and dustpan. Okay. So it's a smooth edge right there. Get these. Now be careful when you're trimming these. Don't cut your bar, your little plastic bar. Don't cut it too thin because your yarn will pop right through it. And trim this end. Okay. So now I will measure. Oop. I don't mean to do that. So with the ends trimmed, it's 5 1/4 inches. Right at the 0, right at the 1/4 inch. See it right there? 5 1/4. Okay. So there's the first part done. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take our yarn that we're going to use for the hat color, and I'm just going to cut a long piece. Oh, I'd say, let me guess how long that is. I'm going to say that's about 14 inches. It's almost 19. I'm way off. Okay, so what we're going to do is thread one end on our needle, and then we're going to take this plastic canvas and bring 2 ends together. So 1 square of each end is overlapping, just like that. And then we're going to sew it up. So it's a little hard to hold this and sew at the same time. But I'm going to go in. Now I'm going to leave a little bit of a tail because this is what's going to be part of the hat. So I'm going to leave a little bit of a tail there. Then I'm going to go back down. Come back in. And now I'm to the top square right there. And now if you can see how the top right here where we sewed those 2 ends together is open. So I'm going to come right around and close it up by going back into the same square I came out or went into. Come on now, there. So just like that. And now I'm going to come just work my way back down. Ouch. And all right. So I'm going to pull these 2 ends tight. Take my needle off, and now I'm just going to sew it. I'm going to knot it off. Just tie a real tight knot. Good grief. Tie a real tight knot to keep these ends together so it doesn't come unsewn. So just like that. And then this is going to be part of our hat. All right, so what we're going to do now is we're going to take our tape measure, and I'm going to lay it out in front of me, and I want to see 0 to 15. So 0 over here to 15 inches. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a strand of my my color for the hat, and I'm going to start it at 0 and I'm going to grab at the 15. So I got a 15-inch piece. And now I'm going to pinch the 15, bring my strand down to the 0 end, and then just keep pinching and going around. Pinching and going around. Basically what I'm doing is creating a bunch of strands that I'm going to use for the hat. How many do you need? I have no idea. I just do this a bunch. And they don't have to be exactly 15 inches each time. It could be a little longer, a little shorter. Doesn't matter. Keep going. All right, I'm going to call that good for now. And then cut all your loops on each end. Make sure you get them all. Come to this end. Cut all the loops. Make sure you get them all. All right. So what I'm going to do now, move my tape measure. I'm going to take my plastic mesh ring, and I'm going to take a strand of my yarn I just cut, bring the two ends together, pull it, and what I want is to take the loop and bring it inside the plastic mesh ring, and then loop the tails through the loop, and then pull it tight, just like that. And then just pull one tail a little bit and it'll tighten that up really good around that ring, okay? So take another strand, bring my two ends together, pull it through, and I want to grab that loop, run the loop through my plastic canvas ring, and then run my tails through the loop, and I'm going to cinch that down just like that and pull one tail to tighten it down a little, and then scooch it over. And that's what we're going to do all the way around. Take a piece, bring your two ends together, take the loop, run it through your plastic canvas ring, take the tails through the loop, and pull tight. And then pull one tail to cinch it down tight. Okay? And that's what you're going to keep doing all the way around. So you're probably going to have to get you more pieces of yarn by running your 15-inch, and do it over and over again. And make sure you push them to the side, because we want a thick, I shouldn't say thick, we want a well-covered brim of the hat. Push them together, pull one tail, and it'll tighten it down. Okay? So I'm going to do a few more with you, and then I'm going to show you a little trick. All right, so once we get this worked around and around and around, what we're going to do is take these tails and we're going to run them inside, just like this. We're going to push all these tails inside that ring. So whenever you're pulling these tight, if you try to keep that little, I don't know what you want to call that, the little knot, I guess, closer to the inside of your ring instead of the outside, that'll help so much more whenever we're having to push all of these little knots to the inside, okay? So it'll be a nice straight, get on camera, it'll be a nice straight seam along the bottom right here, okay? So go ahead and just keep taking your strands, ends together, Take your loop through your plastic canvas, pull it down, and then pull one tight just to tighten it down, and then take that little knot that you make and push it to the inside a little, just like that. And then once you use up all the strands you have, get you another big chunk of 15-inch, pull it out, and then just keep going and going and going. Don't do a big old handful at once, because if you get way too many, then you either have to make another one or you're getting ready to waste a bunch of strands. All right, so I am going to get mine done, and I will be right back. Okay, so I'm coming to the end. If I scoot over, I can get a few more in there. And I just want to take the time while I'm finishing this up to tell you guys that I apologize for the number of times that I misspeak, stumble over my words, not do a good job of explaining what I'm doing. That's me. It's just me. I hate that I do it, and I don't mean to, and I feel bad that I do it. So if you guys ever need any help, in every one of my videos, in the description box is my email address. Shoot me an email and I will be more than happy to help you guys, okay? And I apologize that I get tongue-tied and stutter and can't get my words out. It's frustrating. All right, so I am going to go ahead and probably call this the last one. And I'm going to go ahead and add one more. You're not going to completely cover that, that little plastic strip right there, but you can go ahead and try. I'm going to see if I can't get it right on top of there. Oh, I did. Good deal. If it moves off there, no biggie. All right. I am going to get this out of the way. And what we're going to do now, we're going to take all these tails and we're going to push them to the inside, just like this. Just push all those in. And then, I got my thumb inside of that, but you see all the tangled up pieces. What I'm doing is just pulling all of those nice and not pretty outside of the ring. So I'm just going through here. See the loop right there? I need to pull that out. Pull all these pieces nice and pretty. Make sure they're straight. We don't want them bunched up. Okay, so that looks good. Now you can see at the bottom right here, I want that to be a nice pretty edge. So what I'm going to do is just kind of push all of those to the inside and then pull on the tail. So like right here, for instance, see all that bulge right there? I'm going to push that and then grab some of the tails on the inside and give it a bit of a tug, and it kind of stays to the inside. Not a huge deal, it's just I like a nice pretty edge right here. So where we started, that's not going to get straight, but that's because that's where we knotted off right there. But you can see it's a straighter edge, right? Looks great. Okay, so we can set this to the side, and we're going to make our beard real quick. So our beard, get my tape measure back. Our beard, we want 15-inch pieces, all right? Now this time, what we're going to do, the same thing. You're going to pinch your 15, like if you lay your piece of yarn out on your tape measure, grab at the 15-inch, loop it, bring it to your 1-inch or your other end, loop it, bring it back, loop it, bring it back. Now we do want to do that 30 times. So I've done it 1, 2, 3, 4, and I want 30. So I am going to pull you guys out so you can see exactly how I'm going to do this. So I've got 4. There's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, and 30. So now I'm just going to bring my end and cut. Did I not? There. Okay, so what I've found that's easier, instead of going through there and cutting all those loops, is just cut straight across and then kind of flick it around to make sure you don't have any hidden loops inside there. And then bring over the other end, and we're going to do the same thing. Just cut those loops and open it up to make sure you don't have any loops that you need to cut. All right. So now I'm going to take all of these loops and bring 2 ends together. So we're just folding it in half. And then I'm going to cut all these loops. So just put my scissors in there and cut. And now I'm going to get a strand of my gray. And it is, it's about 20 inches. It doesn't have to be that long. We're trimming it anyway, so it don't matter. And now I'm going to take all my strands and I'm going to lay them right in the middle. Just like that. And I'm going to tie this in a knot around all those strands. Kind of, you want it relatively to the center. It doesn't have to be perfect, but so I'm going to tie that. Tie it again. Just like that. And now I'm going to take that knot, bring the 2 ends together, and trim off these tails, and there is my beard. So I'm going to set that to the side, and what we're going to do now is we are going to take our hat and get you, I don't need longer than that, get you another piece that's about 20 inches. It just needs to be long enough for us to tie and we can trim. All right, so I'm going to take my strand, the same color as my hat. I'm going to lay that down. And now I'm taking my hat and I'm just making sure all of these tails are straight. I'm just going to do that. And I'm going to lay it on top of the tail right here. Now, I would prefer... Okay, let me try to think of how to say this. I would rather have mine too short. Why are you not focusing? There. I would rather have my tie too short, like too far down on my hat, because I can pull it back up rather than it being too high and me trying to pull it down. So my kind of like rule of thumb is to not go in the middle, but go about, a quarter of the way down from the top down. And then I'm just going to tie it into a knot. Just like that. And pull it tight. I wish I had another finger here to hold right there, but I am going to double knot it. Just like this. And then I'm going to flip it and bring my 2 ends back around on this side and tie it into a knot again. Just like that. All right. So now I got a few little short strands. That's all right. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to find the back, which is that where that little knot is, and the little plastic seam right there. I'm going to lay my hat just like that, so where the back is to the bottom. And then we're going to take our little beard. I'm going to get my fabric tack. It's been setting upside down, so it's going to goo everywhere. And I'm going to take that little tied off spot and I'm going to push it to the inside just a little, not too much. And I'm going to run fabric tack all the way around the inside to glue that down. All right, so I'm going to find my back again right here. I'm going to lay it down and I'm going to get one of my little balls. These things roll everywhere if you drop them. Set it there. Okay, so now with my little ball here, I like its nose to be somewhat to the inside. So can you see how he is right there? Like, I don't want it to set right here. I want it to be inside just a little. So I'm going to take some of my fabric tack that's running out all over the place. And then I just kind of slide it in a little bit, just like that. And I am going to hold it here while everything dries. So I'm going to go ahead and pause. I'm going to hold everything and I'll be right back. Okay, so I've been waiting for a few minutes and I think it's dry enough. It's still a tad bit wet, and a good way to with fabric tack to tell if it's dry or not is to smell it. And if you can still smell the fabric tack, it's not dry, and I can still smell it, but I'm not going to be too rough on it. So what I'm going to do now is we are going to add our little hanger. Now with mine, I have all kinds of different hangers. So this one's got a longer one. This one is a shorter one. I move everything so you can see what I'm trying to show you here. And then I've got one that's even longer. So I mean, it's going to be up to you how long you want yours. I'm just going to kind of wing it and let's see. Run it this way. What we're going to do is we're going to take our needle and we're going to go through one side underneath the knot and then out the other side. So if you take your yarn, and I'm just going to put my loop here and then just go as long as I want. So I'm going to go, about that long. And that is, I'll measure it for you guys. Sorry, I hate that clicking and I always try to remember. So I cut mine at about 33.5 inches. So that way you guys can get an idea of how long mine is going to hang. All right, so I'm going to thread one end on my needle. And now with the front facing me, make sure your nose is facing you, just like that. I'm going to come in on one side underneath that knot and come out right on the other side. And then just pull it till my two ends come together. Relatively the same length, doesn't have to be perfect. And then I'm just going to tie them in a knot. Eee, that came right out. There. So there is my little hanger. All right, now we are going to trim up this little piece. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the hanger that I attached and I'm going to bring it to the bottom so I can hold it down here with the hat so I don't cut it. Now I like, let me show you a good example. I like a small, this brown one. I like the pom-pom part to be small, but like on this purple one, it's got the bigger pom-pom. I'd have to say I'm more favorable of the smaller, the shorter pom-pom. But all I'm going to do is just start trimming. And then what I'll do is I'll stop and I'll look. Do I like it? Do I want it shorter? Okay, so I'm going to hang it So you can see one side is like, I've got the nose to the front. One side is a little longer than the other. So I'm just going to trim this down. Oh God, I covered Churchy in the little pieces. Clean his tail off. Okay. Sorry, Bubby, I didn't mean to get y'all covered in it. Alright, so just kind of get this all flayed out a little. I'm going to hang it in the air and just kind of look at it. I think it looks great. Ow! It's adorable. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold him up and I'm going to give his beard a little bit of a trim. Now I find a good one. See how he's got a little bit of a point to his beard? My light's still shaking. There, can you see what I'm... Well, let me find a better one. How about him? There, that's a good one. See how it kind of comes to a V? Like it's here and then here. That's what I like to do with mine, but you guys can trim them however you want to. But all I do is I hold it with it facing me and cut this way. And then I take it and come back up this side. Now I am by no means a professional beard trimmer, so you gotta look at my husband. I'm gonna keep going a little more. Make sure you get the back. I'm gonna call that good. Alright, so I need to get Churchy's tail cleaned again. Sorry, Bubby. Okay. Alright. Uh-oh. About knocked my scissors down. Okay, so now I'm going to add a little sunflower. So these are the ones that I ordered off Amazon. So like I said, the link's going to be in the description box. But all I'm going to do is just pop this flower head off. And then, for those of you that do order these, go ahead and keep these stems because I've got a bit of an idea in my mind for these. We'll see. I think I might do it, but I don't know yet. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and just trim a little bit of this little plastic piece off. Oop, wrong scissors. Don't use those. Just like that. And now, if you noticed, some of my... Let's take this one. Some of my little gnomes, the little embellishments I add, are on the brim of the hat, or some of them are at the top. I don't know, I'm a little more partial to the ones that are on the brim, but I like them both. So I think I am going to glue this sunflower right here, just like that. Okay. So I'm going to take a little bit of my fabric tack here. Oh, that scared Church. There we go. I'm just going to put a big old bunch right around that stem I left. And set it right there. All right. So I am going to let this dry. And I will be right back. I need to clean up my glue. I'll be right back. Okay, guys. So there is our gnome. Simple, easy, adorable. And you can have so much fun with all your different colors, your different little embellishments you can add. That's still a little wet, but that's okay. your beard colors, and you can go all kinds of different sizes. You could have, this one is a really good example of the size difference of the hat and the little pom-pom at the top. See how much shorter that one was? Or you can go real long. Where is this one? Is this one? Yeah, this is one. So like if I line that up, well, I guess it's the same height. I thought I had one that was really long, but I don't see it. Anyway, so that's it, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed my tutorial. Thank you so very much for watching. Subscribe if you haven't. Turn on your notifications. And to do that, you just click the little bell next to subscribe, and then a dialog box will pop up, and then you just click all. And leave me a comment, and then check out the description box where I'm going to have a link to the little noses and the sunflowers I used if you guys want them. Let's see, what else? I've got links to my social media down there. My email is down there. There's all kinds of stuff down there if you guys want to check that out. And then leave me a comment. Let me know what you guys think. And if you make these, please, please, please tag me in a picture. Email me the picture. You know, if you do it on social media, tag me in it so I can see it, because I would love to see your guys' creations. So I'm trying to show you guys, if I hang him just a little bit there, focus. Why are you not focusing today? Okay, I'll see you guys next time. You guys are the greatest. Subscribe if you haven't so you don't miss what's next from me, and I'll see you later. Bye.